I am so late to this, but I don't care because I love books and I love personality tests. And so this is a merge of two of my main interests. Today, we are going to be doing the Read Your Colour assessment quiz type thing. And I learned about this actually from people DMing me on Instagram. And I love that. That is how well you guys know me. And then the next thing I knew, everyone in our Patreon Discord server were doing the quiz and posting about their results. And I was like, don't look, Hannah, don't look, because I wanted to film this moment. It's really not that profound. But essentially, the Read Your Colour people, whoever they may be, the thing that was sent to me in DMs was like a TikTok of maybe the founder of this quiz, like talking about it. It's American, that's all I'll say, because they spell colour wrong. There's no U. But my impression, I might be wrong, is that it sorts you based on the answers that you give into these different colours, like, and each colour represents like a different mood. Not just the type of reader that you are based on like what genres you like, but like your style of reading. Does that make sense? I'm sure more will become clear. If you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Hannah. I like to make videos about finding play and joy in adulthood and parenthood. And so for me, that definitely includes books and reading. And also, I have a whole series on this channel, or maybe my other channel, I honestly can't remember at this point, because it was a while ago, called Who Am I?, where me and some friends did a bunch of some of the kind of like staple famous personality tests and quizzes. Think things like Myers-Briggs and Enneagram. So this is right up my wheelhouse. But before we get into the test, and also I want to make some predictions in terms of what I think I'm like as a reader, I want to thank this video sponsor, Squarespace. So whether you're just starting out in the freelance world or you're a small business owner, Squarespace makes it super easy to create your own beautiful website, engage your audience, and sell anything from physical and digital products to courses, and even your time, all in one place and all on your terms. I've been using Squarespace for years for my hannahwitton.com website and also various projects and things that I have done over the years, and it has been so easy to use Squarespace for all of these different uses, like a portfolio website or a community website or a podcast. Like, I've used Squarespace for all of these different things, and it is so easy to use. They have tons of beautiful templates, and you just pick the one that feels right for you and your brand and your business, whatever it is that you are creating, and then you can customize it with all of your own content and assets and pictures and colors and fonts and whatever it might be. And now with Squarespace's new design intelligence, it empowers anyone to create their own beautiful website tailored to their needs using AI technology. If you have an online store, then Squarespace Payments is the easiest way to manage payments. Onboarding is really fast and simple, and there are loads of options for your customers with how to pay. If you have more of a client-based business, then Squarespace also has invoicing. So this allows you to manage clients and keep track of invoices, and it can really help to simplify your workflows and manage a service-based business with everything that you need all in one place. So if you are in need of your own website, then head to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and then when you are ready to launch it into the world, you can go to squarespace.com/morehannah to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay, the reading assessment quiz. Reading assessment sounds like something you do in school. This is not what that is. My reading comprehension is good enough. Okay, let's read about how it works, and then maybe I'll try and make some predictions. We'll see. Read Your Colour. The reading assessment, it is called a reading assessment, that will get you reading books you love. Also, what is it about this kind of like trend in design where on websites people will like do it looks like you've hand drawn around a word or like scribbled under a word that you want to emphasize. You just see it a lot these days, you know, and I like it, but it definitely feels like a bit of a trend. Okay, take the free assessment. I will. Also, I believe that the assessment is free, but the way that these guys make money is that at the end of it, you can pay them for book recommendations based off the result you get, which, because I'm making this video, I will take one for the team, and I'll see how expensive it is first, but probably buy it and then see what happens. Anyway, stop reading books you hate. Most people don't know what kind of reader they are, which is why they waste time on books they never finish. Read Your Colour is an assessment that helps you discover your unique reader type so you can Finally, find books that match you. Take the quiz, get personalized recommendations, and never read a book you don't love again. I think I'm pretty good at reading books that I love, so this will be interesting. So you take the assessment, there's 8 reading types, and then you can learn about your type and then read better books. Purchase your color guide to get perfectly tailored reading plan. A reading plan. Okay, so these are the 6 types. The blue reader is the introspective oracle. The green reader is the practical sage. The purple reader is the unbound innovator. The orange reader is the curious explorer. The yellow reader is the emotional catalyst. And the red reader is the adrenaline seeker. I mean, obviously I can read a bit more about what those types are, but I'm not going to do that. And just based off the name of the types, I'm going to predict orange, the curious explorer. I'm predicting orange, which is very apt that I'm wearing orange. Okay, let's go. I want to take the quiz. Take the assessment. Let's do this. I am ready. This quiz will show you 24 different hypothetical book summaries. Oh, interesting. Indicate how likely you would be to read each one. Okay, begin the quiz. A poetic memoir, absolutely not. Immediately no, maybe, we'll see. A poetic memoir weaves together fragments, dreams, journal entries, old texts chronicling the author's healing after grief. Would probably not read. I mean, would definitely not read, maybe. Yeah, would definitely not read. Okay. A woman falls in love with a man through anonymous letters exchanged in library books, never meeting until fate intervenes. Would probably read. In a city run by corporations, already enjoying this quiz, a lone data hacker risks everything to uncover the truth behind a mass digital blackout. Might read. In a shattered world ruled by elemental warlords, a cursed warrior and an outcast prince form a forbidden bond that could remake the realm. I mean, I am into fantasy, but this one doesn't particularly appeal. If people recommended it very highly, then I would probably read. A solitary monk walks across America, encountering strangers who subtly reshape his inner life and beliefs. Would probably not read. Drawing on neuroscience and ancient philosophy, this guide helps overthinkers learn to make better decisions. I'm really done with a lot of self-help books, so at this point, probably would definitely not read. A surrealist artist discovers her paintings are portals to real worlds and something is starting to come back through the canvas. Ooh, so a bit of magical realism. Would probably read. A grumpy CEO starts to rethink what's important to him after he falls in love with the new VP of marketing. Might read? Oh no. An ex-assassin hiding in Alaska must confront his past when his daughter is taken by a vengeful arms dealer. Probably not read. A chef journeys across post-Soviet Europe searching for the recipes that defined her grandmother's lost homeland. Might read. Sounds intriguing. A multi-generational novel. I do love a multi-generational novel. Told from the perspective of a single house and the people who lived and died. Yes, would definitely read. A deep dive into how food systems, global trade, and local economies shape the way we eat and how to eat better. How to eat better for our personal health or how to eat better in terms of the global food systems. Might read, because I prefer the latter rather than the health stuff. Okay. A linguist and an ex-CIA operative must decode an ancient manuscript before a secret society reshapes history. Probably not. Although the linguist part of it does remind me a bit of Arrival. We're on 14 out of 24. There is something here that doesn't quite feel complete because these are all just book premises, but I think also the execution is important. So I know that I generally like quite fast to medium paced, plotty books. I don't know. Anyway, a novel told entirely through footnotes and deleted Wikipedia entries reconstructs the life of a time traveler who never existed. Would definitely read. That sounds to me a bit like the Rorschach texts. Has anyone read that? I think I read it as a teenager, late into my teens or early 20s because my dad recommended it. I really want to reread it, but that book is fucking weird in terms of the structure and the format and everything, but intrigued. A struggling screenwriter falls for the nanny of his A struggling screenwriter falls for the nanny of his ex-wife's kids. Are those also his kids? Or is his ex-wife had kids with somebody else now? In a story filled with awkward charm, bad coffee, and unexpected kisses. Okay, so this is cozy, romancy vibes. I mean, might read. In a future where dreams can be uploaded and bought, a woman begins to lose the line between memory and product. Will definitely read. A former Silicon Valley exec shares what broke him, what healed him, and how to live a more intentional digital life. No, definitely would not read. A rescue team in Antarctica picks up a distress signal from a base that officially doesn't exist and never did. Oh, I'm in. Definitely read. That feels a bit murder botty to me, although it might not be sci-fi. Anyway, I don't know. A cultural critic's essay collection on the end of privacy, the aesthetics of apocalypse, and what comes after capitalism. Would definitely read. These premises are wild. A woman uncovers a box of unsent letters and begins to rewrite the story of her childhood. What? Probably not read. A clear, no-nonsense manual on how to lead teams with empathy, structure, and long-term vision. No, definitely not read. An ornithologist, what's an ornithologist? Joins a rogue expedition into the Congo to find a supposedly extinct bird. As somebody who studies birds. There you go, there's my reading comprehension. She's so good, give her an A star. It's not gonna be a bird expert now, is it? Anyway, then the team starts vanishing one by one. Might read. In an alternate 1800s, ooh. Is this our first, historical fiction? A woman disguises herself as a man to join a pirate crew in search of a mythical island said to grant second lives. Would probably read. Oh, this is our last question. A box of mementos hidden by her late husband sends a young widow on a cross-country road trip through memory and mourning. I need to say that again in my head because I read it out loud. I heard myself. Did any of it go in? No. A box of mementos hidden by her late husband sends a young widow on a cross-country road trip through memory and mourning. Okay, I actually computed it that time. I would probably not read. Ooh, oh shit! 90% purple reader. What? I don't even remember what the purple reader said it was. But the second biggest one was orange at 50%. But clearly purple is the winner. What is the purple reader? The unbound innovator. Oh, what does it mean? Oh, look, that's me. That's me reading a book. So what is a purple reader? The purple reader is the unbound innovator, a bold, unconventional thinker who thrives on experimental storytelling and genre-defying narratives. Is it because I said would definitely read to that weird one about the wiki pages? They read to challenge norms, stretch their imagination, and fuel radical creativity. Okay, I want to read what the orange one is. After finishing a book, they want to feel intellectually awakened and creatively invigorated, as if they've glimpsed a new way of seeing the world. Do I? I guess I answered the questions in that way. Okay, the kind of books you read are wild, unconventional, and impossible to categorize. Fantasy and sci-fi and romance. I think they're quite easy to categorize. And contemporary fiction that leans feminist. Okay, you're drawn to stories that break the rules, narratives that twist form, blur genres, or leap through time and space without warning. Okay, traditional plot arcs don't impress you nearly as much as originality, voice, and sheer creative risk. I mean, this kind of describes the 5th season, which I loved and was very impressive. You love authors who challenge assumptions, upend expectations, and invite you into strange, brilliant new worlds. Okay? Whether it's fiction that feels like a fever dream or non-fiction that dares to imagine entirely new futures, you crave ideas that crack open your thinking. Your bookshelf isn't safe. It's a playground for the wildly inventive and the beautifully bizarre. I mean, maybe because of the fantasy and sci-fi that I like, I don't know. But I don't know. I don't completely relate to this. Your fiction preferences, experimental and postmodern novels. No. I feel like I'd hate most postmodern novels, but there's a whole thing about the Rorschach text and the weird one. I don't know. Surreal or dreamlike fables? That's like reminding me of The Starless Sea, which I struggled with. Books with non-linear structures or shifting perspectives. Yes, I do like that. Genre mashups and speculative fiction with a philosophical edge. Yes. Literary fiction that breaks form or plays with language. I think I would more struggle with those books. Oh, it is giving me some recommendations. Okay, your non-fiction preferences. Avant-garde essays and unconventional memoirs. Sure. Speculative cultural criticism. Yeah. Futurist manifestos and radical theory. Philosophy or psychology that explores abstract or fringe ideas. Sure. Books on creativity, innovation, and alternative ways of thinking. I mean, yeah. If I read lots of nonfiction, then yeah. And then it's given me some recommendations. Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, never read. I believe that's like multiple perspectives novel. Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace, never heard of it. Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. I recognize that author's name, but I don't know that book. And then The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Why is that on there? I feel like I culturally know The Road, even if I've never read The Road. Is that the one about, it's like one of the great American classic novels and it's like a father and son on a journey? That to me doesn't feel like any of the things that this has said, but maybe in the execution and the actual content of the book it is. I don't know. Get free recommendations weekly. No. You'll love these books. Okay, Life of Pi, have read that. Oh, okay, this is interesting that The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin is on here, because from what I have learned about the sci-fi genre, she is like an OG. And she is someone who has really paved the way for a lot of women authors in sci-fi. And this book is very famous. This is on my TBR, so interesting. And then we've got The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I read that. It's a play, I believe. A-level drama. We did it. We studied that. And yeah, it was fucking weird and I liked it. And then Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five, which is another classic that I've heard of. Do I know what it's actually about? Did I own a copy of it one time because I was like, I want to read this book, and now I don't have it anymore? Yes. What is that about? But if this thing is telling me that I'll like it, then maybe I should read it. The Essential Purple Reader Toolkit. Oh, it's $6.99. I can do that. 50 handpicked book recommendations. Oh my God, okay, that's too many. Why? I am still very curious to see what the orange reader is. And then maybe I buy the purple one and the orange one and we can make them fight to the death of books. Meet the types. Let's read about the orange one, The Curious Explorer. So the kind of books you like are: you view reading as an adventure and every book as a ticket to explore uncharted worlds and ideas. You're endlessly curious, drawn to narratives that immerse you in diverse cultures, historical epochs, and fascinating journeys. For you, books are gateways to thrilling discoveries and endless possibilities. I immediately relate to this more, but maybe I'm the one in denial. Maybe I don't know my reading tastes and this internet quiz knows me better. I don't know. Anyway, your fiction preferences: expansive historical epics and adventurous tales. Yeah, Amina Al-Sarafi. Stories set in exotic locations and unfamiliar cultures. Yeah. Immersive narratives full of discovery, exploration, and wonder. Yeah. Rich descriptive storytelling that vividly transports you. Sometimes. The overly descriptive stuff sometimes loses me and I'm just like, can I just have a bit of dialogue between some characters now, please? Your non-fiction preferences: explorations of scientific mysteries and discoveries, engaging histories of ancient civilizations and lost worlds, books that delve into futuristic technology and possibilities, and intriguing studies of speculative science and theoretical phenomena. So I feel like I relate more to the fiction preferences of orange, but the non-fiction preferences of purple. What does it mean? Why you read and what you want to feel. You read to satisfy your curiosity and hunger for adventure. Books make you feel exhilarated, enlightened, and broadened, as though you've returned from an incredible journey, eager to explore even more. Well, I don't know where I can buy the orange reader one, but I think Moog was an orange reader. My assistant Moog is orange, and so maybe I can buy one for them. Would you like to see a purple reader recommendations reading vlog? Would you like to see a purple versus orange recommendations reading vlog? The Essential Purple Reader Toolkit. I love the branding. It's very pretty. About this toolkit, and then it's got the what is a purple reader again, 50 essential titles for purple readers, experimental. Okay. I'm gonna have to go through this in my own time, but we've got House of Leaves, Infinite Jest, Gravities. I just wanna see if there's any here that the Rorschach text is on there. This is the premise of the Rorschach text. This is not a book that, like, I would say, oh my God, I loved it, but it's one that's just stayed with me because what the fuck? A man wakes up with no memory and discovers he's being hunted by a conceptual shark and a story that blurs the boundaries between language, identity, and reality. Yeah, it's fucking weird. With its typographic play, existential undertones, and surreal premise, this novel speaks directly to the purple reader's love of bold narrative risks and symbolic storytelling. Sure. Is there anything else on here that I have read? Life of Pi, The Metamorphosis. I tried reading Brave New World. I did not like it. I DNF'd Brave New World. Station 11. loved. Annihilation, haven't read, watched the TV show. The TV show? The film? I don't know. That was fucking weird, but I did like it. I'm not excited about many of these books. Ooh, Perfume, The Story of a Murderer. I did love that one. But like things like Fight Club, American Psycho, V for Vendetta, like movies, great. Do I want to read the book of that? Not really. The Handmaid's Tale, yeah, love. And then a list of authors. And then we've got the checklist. Interesting. I can feel my resistance to this list. And now I'm even more interested to see the orange one. Yeah. The purple reader feels very intense. And whilst I do like the odd bit of intensity, and there are some books on this list that I'm like, yeah, I want to read that. I'm more intrigued now to see what the orange reader one is. And I may need to ask Moog to access it for me. Okay, I managed to get the orange reader toolkit from Moog. Let's go. Here it is. Okay, we're just gonna skim through this and get a flavor of the book recommendations. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, so, see look, fantasy and epic sagas is a thingy. The Hobbit, yes. Mistborn, love. Game of Thrones, love. Way of Kings, love. Cersei, yes. Dune, haven't read, but intrigued by it. 1984, yes, love. Ready Player One, have read it, it was fine. Hunger Games, love. Brave New World, again, DNF'd it. This Neuromancer one was also on the purple list. Station 11, also on the purple list, love. Left Hand of Darkness is also here, so there's some crossover, clearly. And then Historical Adventures and Epics, don't know, da da da. War and Peace, oh God. The Count of Monte Cristo. Guys, fucking, this book is following me everywhere. The Count of Monte Cristo is on this list. Need I say more? Robinson Crusoe, another one that I think I read an abridged version of in school. Loved. Okay, imaginative and speculative tales. Slaughterhouse 5, another double up. The Road, another double up. Cloud Atlas, another double up. The Time Machine, haven't read that. Oh, why is Neil Gaiman on here? Awkward. Annihilation, again. Was Fahrenheit 451 on the other list? I think it might have been. The Martian, love. Okay, interesting. I mean, there's huge crossover. But it's really interesting that it has really leaned in the orange and in the purple to the like fantasy, sci-fi, speculative kind of reading that I like to do, and less so into the like contemporary romance. I love like explorations of fame, which is why I love loads of the Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. So I wonder what color that side of my reading would be. So maybe the conclusion I'm drawing here again is that this too, even though it's not defining you based on genre, it's defining you based on like, I don't know, reading vibes or whatever, it still feels too much like it's putting you in a box. Because whilst I think I would get on well with a lot of the books on that list, I think I would then very much get like genre fatigue, which is why I like to bounce around. Like if I read too much sci-fi in a row, I'm like, I need some contemporary romance. I just need to cleanse the palate. And I mean, I don't know, because I think they do bounce around genre a bit, but it doesn't feel like it does it enough for there to be any palate cleansers, if you know what I mean. But we'll see. Potential reading vlog incoming. What have we learned? I honestly didn't think we'd come to the end of this video with more confusion. I felt very confident in the kinds of books that I like. I feel pretty good at picking books that I like to read and that I enjoy. And then this kind of like, me a little bit. But not that I don't enjoy the books, because there were some on that list that I'm like, yeah, I like that book. But would I say they're my favorite books? You know, I liked reading them and I think those books are really good. But would I say The Handmaid's Tale is one of my favorite books? Would I say that The Raw Shark Text is one of my favorite books? No. They're books that stay with me and I would maybe recommend to others, but I wouldn't call them my favorite books. Like I would say like Goldilocks by Laura Lamb, which is a feminist sci-fi, which is kind of Handmaid's Tale-esque, actually, I'll give it that. And like Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, or like The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Those are some of the ones that like up there, I'm like, faves. Why do I feel weird? Okay, we're gonna have to move on. I'm gonna look through this list and then maybe in the future you will see a Purple Reader reading vlog, because there are definitely some on here that I'm like, that's on my TBR, like The Left Hand of Darkness, for sure. So this is definitely a push that I need to get to that book. Hello, Hannah from the future here. I have gone through the purple and the orange reading toolkits because I wanted to figure out how many books on each list I have read, I want to read, and have DNF'd. did not finish. So on the purple one, which is the one that the quiz put me at like 90%, like I am a purple reader. And out of the 50 books, I've read 6, DNF'd 1, which was Brave New World, and there are 10 on that list that I want to read, 10 that are on my TBR. On the orange list, I have read 12 of them, so I've actually already read more on the orange list, like double, than I have on the purple list. DNF'd 1, same book, Brave New World, and I want to read 10 of them. A lot of the 10 from each list are crossovers because there is a lot of doubling up on each list. So I think a lot of my like 10 want to reads are similar from both lists. So yeah, let me know if you do want to see a purple versus orange reading vlog. But actually there are at least 2 reading vlogs that I have filmed or I'm in the process of filming that you will be seeing in the very near future on this channel. So subscribe. Okay, back to the video. Have you done this quiz? If not, do it. Let me know in the comments what type of reader you are and whether or not you're like, yeah, that's me, or you're like, no, they got me wrong. I would love to hear what your types of readers are. And are there any books on the purple readers list that you have read and loved and you think that I would like too? And I will try and prioritize them for the reading vlog. Okay, this was fun, she says. Did I have fun? I think I had fun. But I'm now like, yeah, I'm like, I'm a, what was the purple one? Something innovator? I'm an unbound innovator, whatever that means. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. Let me know in the comments your color reading type, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.